Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are just joining the family, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for sticking with the family. Thank you so much for sticking with the family. So today we're going to be talking about my pregnancy experience. How I carried this beautiful cutie here. Yeah, for 9 months. If you're interested in knowing or hearing about my pregnancy experience, please stay tuned. Dearest mothers that are content creators, please drop your tips and tricks of how to create content with your kids, because it's been really hard. I've been making this video for almost 24 hours now, and I've not been able to get a hang of it because my baby keeps popping in and out of the video. Anyway, some people had this whole pregnancy easy, and for me, I would say mine was around a medium, even though I felt like it was 100. I feel like mine was around a 70 rather than 100, because when you hear other people's story, you just be like, oh, alhamdulillah, mine wasn't that bad. So guys, you see this pregnancy thing? When we're pregnant, we keep saying, why didn't you warn me about this? Why didn't you tell me this was going to happen? Why didn't you tell me this is how it's going to feel like? But I realized that you can't actually tell someone how they would feel when they're pregnant or what they would go through when they're pregnant, because we're different people, and the way we experience things differ. What might be painful to you might just be a brush off for someone else. So it's not something you can explain. Probably due to the fact that I am in the middle of a second pregnancy now, I could actually tell. I would say I realized this during my second pregnancy journey. People say that each pregnancy is different. Even when it happens in the same body, each pregnancy is different. The things you experience in the first one might not be the same with the things you experience in the second one. So out of experience now, I'm going to be talking about the differences between my first pregnancy and my second pregnancy. And also I'm going to be talking about how intense my first pregnancy was, because it was really, really intense. First pregnancy was intense. My first pregnancy, I felt I was ready. We found out officially I was pregnant about a month or a month and a half into marriage, and we were excited. I was excited, like, why not? Because that was why I got married in the first place. But then as soon as mentally my head, or I don't know if I would say biologically, my body realized I was pregnant, disaster started. The night I took a pregnancy test and confirmed it was pregnancy, I woke up the next morning with this annoying nausea that I had no idea how to handle. I fought with nausea for the whole day, and then the following day I was wishing I could just throw up and probably I would feel better. But no, I did not. I think I was practically living with nausea for about a week, roughly a week, before I could get to that throwing up level. And as days goes by, it became even more terrible because I couldn't eat. I had this terrible metallic taste in my mouth that I couldn't shake off. I was for the first 1 month of marriage, we were eating chicken and egg back to back like crazy. All of a sudden, I didn't want to eat egg anymore. All of a sudden, egg started smelling like when I boil egg, it smells like rotten egg, and I can't eat it. And when I fry egg, it gives me heartburn when I eat it. And then to a certain level, I didn't want to eat chicken again. I hated the fact that I had to boil chicken. Any day I have to boil chicken, I would close my kitchen door and run to the room. And time I even get to stand the smell of cooking beef or chicken or fish, I would end up throwing up in the kitchen. And mind you, my first trimester was into Ramadan. I have to make food for iftar. It was terrible. I did fast most of it. Halfway through Ramadan, I stopped fasting because I couldn't stand it. I was sick in and out of the hospital. I'm either home for 2 days and then in the hospital for 3, 4, 5 days. I couldn't eat. I couldn't take water. I couldn't take soda. Coke tasted like soap water. When you mix detergent in water and probably you're washing or something and you mistakenly taste it, there's a way it tastes. That's how Coke tasted for me. So soda water wasn't even an option for me. The fact that you go to the hospital and they ask you, when you lay your complaints and they ask you, is this your first pregnancy? And you're like, yes. They just go, oh, she's a preemie. They overreact. Guys, this is my body. I feel like you should show more compassion, because as a preemie, I feel like you should show more compassion to me because I have no idea, zero idea, nada what's going on in my system. You're supposed to be compassionate with me and explain things to me, but you just make it feel, you brush my feelings off and make it feel like, oh, it's a normal thing. Guys, it's not nice at all. So that experience, that hospital experience, so my situation went on and on and on like that for about 6 months. Close to the 7th month, I started regaining my strength and started gaining appetite. There was a time few friends came to visit, and in the space of 30 minutes I threw up about 6-7 times, and they were astonished by the fact that I could even throw up that more times. So I dreaded I loved the fact that I was pregnant and I was going to be a mother, but I dreaded the whole process of being pregnant. I didn't like how I looked. Guys, my first pregnancy, I was black. As in, look at me now. Sure, you guys can see that I am light-skinned, But my first pregnancy, you need to see my face. It was terrible. I had acne. I had this tiny, I don't know what they call it, this tiny rashes all over my face. I had zero interest in mingling. I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to take my bath. It was terrible to the level where I find it really hard to even wake up and pray or even stand up and do anything. My husband will go to work and come back and just meet me in the middle of vomiting. I have one bucket beside my bed, been admitted in the hospital and on drip for days. And there's one thing that we don't talk about much, the fact that you're not even allowed to express your feeling. The fact that when you complain about how you feel while being pregnant, people feel like you're ungrateful. And I personally don't see it that way. I don't see it as being ungrateful. I just see it as the fact that you're just trying to express yourself, or just talk about how you felt in that situation. It doesn't mean you hate the baby or you hate the pregnancy. It just means that you didn't enjoy the process, or the process wasn't as joyful as you would have expected it to be. Mostly on social media, we don't see, if not nowadays, back then we actually don't see that other part of pregnancy. We just see the beauty, people slaying in pregnancy. You see the bump and you see the cute baby and you just be like, oh my God, I cannot wait. Now, you don't even know what that woman went through. You don't know that there are days that she doesn't even want to wake up. There are days that she doesn't want to move. And some days are better than other days. But then, I called it sweet pain. I'm a bubbling person. Like, anybody that knows me personally know that I am bubbly. But during that pregnancy process, I lost myself. I lost interest in makeup. I'm a makeup artist. I lost interest in makeup. To a certain level, I stopped taking bookings. I didn't know me anymore, and I wasn't interested in finding me. I just wanted this thing over. I just wanted to get it over with. And mind you, it's not like I didn't like the fact that I was pregnant. I don't know. It was a mixed feeling kind of thing. I wanted to get it over with and just meet the baby. That one thing that people don't talk about a lot is that emotional damage. I don't know if I should use the word damage that pregnancy causes for some people. They don't talk about it. And I understand why some people don't talk about it. There's this joy the baby gives you, or the joy that comes with giving birth to that baby, that just makes you completely forget the process. You forget those things you felt, and you just bask yourself in that moment of motherhood. But for me, I don't think I forgot. I think that was why I was scared when I found out I was pregnant the second time. I wasn't ready. I was scared that I was going to go through the same thing I went through in my first pregnancy. And mind you, after the birth of my baby, it took me about 8 months to even get back to business. It took me about 8 months to find myself. It took me about 8 months to regain the interest in the things that I used to do before. So that fear of losing myself again in the process of pregnancy was the reason why I was scared. Not because I was scared of having the baby. I was just scared of losing myself again. I just felt like, oh my God, I just found myself, and then, oh my God, I am pregnant again. Oh my God, where do I start from? But that every pregnancy is different is real. Every pregnancy is actually different from experience. Even when it happens in the same body, it is different. My second pregnancy, I was pregnant for about 8 weeks before I even realized I was pregnant. The first pregnancy, I had this metallic taste. I didn't like the smell of perfumes or the smell of meat or the smell of some certain foods. But with this pregnancy, I was, even within that 8 weeks, I was still eating normal. I was eating everything that I normally eat. I eat them. I spray perfume. I didn't have that metallic taste. I didn't have all those things, all those nausea and all that I had in my first trimester for the first pregnancy. Zero, nada. I was normal. I was absolutely normal. I think that was why I didn't really know I was pregnant immediately. And then secondly, after birth, I only bled for about 2 weeks, and that was it. There was no menstruation throughout my breastfeeding process. So I think after weaning my baby in December, January-ish, pregnancy came, and I didn't suspect I was pregnant because normal now. There was no menstruation, so I just didn't suspect it. So I started suspecting I was pregnant when I had this normal. I don't sleep a lot like that because I had insomnia during my first pregnancy, and I was finding it really hard to get back to a normal routine of sleep. But this time around, I was sleeping in the afternoon, I was sleeping in the night, I was sleeping anywhere that there's a cool breeze. Madam go just snooze off. So, all that, I was putting two and two together. And one night, my husband was at work. He was on night duty, and I just sent him a message. I was like, bros, I say I get belle. He was like, you get belle. And I had a PT strip at home, so I just decided to take the test. I took the first test, and wow, I was pregnant. Okay, it was not clear, but I said, okay, I was going to take the second one the next day in the morning. And I took the second test, and it was visible. And immediately my husband came back. I was like, guy, nah, I'm not keeping this one. Let's just go and find out how far along I have gone, and we'll just get rid of it, because I can't. I just which day I recover, which day I even start to understand myself, and then now I have to go through that journey again. I'm not ready. So you see, the excitement I had in the first one, I didn't have it in the second one. I just no way. I wanted to just get rid of it, please. I didn't even want to overthink it. And my husband sat me down. He talked about how we don't know which blessing this baby is going to come with, blah blah blah. Some people are looking for this pregnancy and they can't even get it as easy as I did. And then now I'm trying to, he said a whole lot. I thought about it. We thought about it for a while, and I said, okay, let's just wait it out. Let's see how my system goes with this first. If it's going to be like the first one, before it even gets to the level where I can't take care of it, we're going to take care of it. And we both agreed. And one funny thing, my body just adapted to it. Maybe because he said it takes about 18 months for a woman's body to recover after pregnancy. Maybe my body was still thinking, or still had that whole idea of pregnancy, or didn't see pregnancy as a threat. Maybe that's why it wasn't attacking it, or I just couldn't say. Or God was just, doing his miracle. I couldn't just explain it, but I went through I'm in my 6th month now, and I went through the first 5-6 months without throwing up, without nausea, without metallic taste, without insomnia. I was sleeping like crazy. Guy, if you put me for where ACD, be monitoring me, because if he steal me, I go don't sleep go. So there was no fatigue, there was no body pain, nothing. Sometimes I even wonder if I'm pregnant, because there's no sign. My first pregnancy, I had huge boobs. My boobs were full and they were painful. But for this one, my boobs were just regular size. There was no pain. There was no sign of being pregnant. So at a point, I just keep saying, no, it might just be a false positive result. It might just be that we're thinking we're pregnant, but, we're not. Maybe there's something else happening and all that. But really, really, around week 10, week 11, I started noticing a tiny bump. But, it just looked like I was bloated, not like I was pregnant. And when we got to 16 weeks, I actually started seeing the bumps, and I started believing, oh, wow, this is true. So with this pregnancy, I got convinced that pregnancies are different. Even when they happen in the same body, they are different. I do not have a scientific explanation for what is happening in my system right now, even after feeling the kicks of the baby, and after even hearing the heartbeat and seeing the baby during the previous ultrasound we went for. It's still it's still so what's the word for it? It's still so surprising that my body is so comfortable with being pregnant. I'm not feeling anything. It's not, there's a bump and there are kicks here and there now, but before now, it just didn't feel like I was pregnant. So in as much as the first pregnancy was terrible, this pregnancy is alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, because I was terrified at even the thought of being pregnant again because of my experience in the first one, because of how drained I was emotionally and how lost I was emotionally. I was lost in all realms. I was lost physically and I was lost emotionally and I was lost even religiously, because the energy I used to have to wake up and pray or stand up and pray, the first pregnancy made me drag my feet to pray. I would procrastinate for minutes and hours before I stand up to pray, simply because I feel so lazy and lost. But Alhamdulillah, this is helping me find myself. This is helping me get back to myself. Even though some days I just get so detached from myself. But Alhamdulillah, I feel this is way better than the first one. And hopefully the birth story, when I give you guys my first birth story, and comparing with the second one, it might just be as swift as the first one was. In as much as for me, getting pregnant was easy, I know that there are many women out there that are finding it really hard to conceive. I want to use this opportunity to tell you that you shouldn't give up, that your time is near, and inshallah God is going to bless you with your own baby, and you're going to experience everything and more in pregnancy and motherhood. So dearest mamas, don't give up. Pregnancy is beautiful. In between the beauty there is pain, but then there is always light at the end of the tunnel, because you get to meet up with this beautiful, innocent, amazing baby that would change your life forever. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. I'll be in the comments if you have any question at all, or if you want to share your experience. I love listening to other women's birth stories or pregnancy stories. It just makes me feel like, oh, I shouldn't complain. I might not have gone through a lot. Oh, this person actually had it easy. Or oh my God, this person's experience was terrible. I would be in the comments.